we got Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. This is a very interesting fight, too. We got Beneil Dariush, who is a bit of I don't want to say he's on the tail end of his career, but he's starting to slow down a bit. It's getting towards the end of the road. His durability is just not very great. You look at his age, like 36, he probably has some more life left in the tank, and he does. It just depends on the matchups. Anyone who has a lot of knockout power is probably going to put him out. It's probably not going to be good. I mean, he's got hurt badly in the last three of his last 3 fights. He's been hurt very badly. Finished in 2 of them, but you can see the last fight against Makhachev, he did end up winning it. He came back, but we'll talk about that. And I guess we'll start out with Dariush. Most recent fights against Makhachev. Most recent fight, literally what we were just talking about. He gets hurt early. First round, he gets dropped bad. I mean, if this fight went on a whole lot longer, he might have been cooked. He was able to get saved by the bell. But second round comes around. Renato Moicano starts to shoot some takedowns, tries to get the grappling going. He just can't really do a whole lot. Dariush's defensive grappling is elite. His grappling in general is elite. Some of the best, pretty slept on, honestly. People don't talk about it enough. No one beats Dariush in the grappling. Nobody. So, very impressive. He's able to sprawl, able to prevent the takedowns of Moicano. He even reverses it, gets on top of Moicano, and just starts beating the shit out of him. I mean, this was in the beginning of the second round, 4 minutes, 46 seconds of the second round, you can see he's on top of him. And by the end of the second round, 8 seconds left, he's still kicking his ass on the ground. He's just a beast in scrambling. On the ground, this man's a problem. Third round starts, he starts landing, goes for a takedown, boom, comes in, gets it. 15 seconds of the third round, he's already on top. He's going to take down. Yeah, Moicano's cooked. Now, they do grapple a bit. He backpacks him with 2 minutes left in the third round. Dariush is an absolute menace. That's all I got for this one. But it just goes to show, if you grapple with this guy, you're going to lose. And he'll beat BSD in the grappling. He definitely will. So if I'm Benoit Saint-Denis, I'm saying do not try and grapple this man. He will cook you. He cooked Moicano, who's a high-level grappler. We saw him cook Gamrot. I mean, he does it all. He'll cook anyone in the grappling, and BSD is no exception to that. So, he needs to be careful of that. But then we address the chin problems. Arman Tsarukyan, Dariush fought Tsarukyan, eats a knee to the dome, and that's all she wrote. Fights Charles Oliveira. Oh, this isn't the very end, but in the very beginning of the fight, gets a kick to the head, not good. Now, he looks good in the grappling early on. Charles Oliveira is a bit of an exception, though. He's willing to grapple. He's willing to go to the ground and have you follow him to the ground. So, this one's a bit different, but minute left in the first round, head kick. Yeah, he's dead. So, does it for that. But against Gamrot, this is a very good stylistic comparison because we were able to see he cooked him. I mean, Gamrot was not able to land takedowns. You could see throughout this entire fight, he went 2 out of 6 in the first round, 1 for 7 in the second, 1 for 6 in the third round. He was able to rack up less than 2 minutes of total control time throughout this entire fight. Extremely impressive. And then on the feet, Dariush was better. This was probably one of his most impressive wins. He beat Gamrot at his own game, outstruck him on the feet. Extremely impressive. So, don't sleep on Dariush. In the grappling, very, very dangerous. And just very, very skilled. It's not like he's necessarily going to knock BSD out, but he could definitely win on the scorecards. For BSD, though, his recent fights, we got him against Rufi. We know how this one went. This is not really a similar stylistic matchup, though. That's why I didn't really want to talk about this one all that much. Dariush is not about the exact opposite of a Mauricio Rufi. So, shout out to BSD, though. Great win, but stylistically not very close. Against Renato Moicano, this is a very similar stylistic matchup that's very important to look at. We saw early on in this fight, BSD throws a kick, Renato Moicano catches it. He's cooked. This sealed his fate. That kick sealed his fate for the entire rest of the fight. From here to takedown, bada boom, bada bang. Yeah, he got cooked. And it's just brutal. I mean, he brutalized him. Backpacked his ass, got on top, beating the piss out of him. Second round, I mean, I didn't show it, but I mean, we all saw how his face was after the end of the first round. This was 3 minutes left in the first round of Moicano beating the shit out of him. Second round comes around, BSD's face is cooked. Moicano comes for more grappling. I guess I didn't put anything after this one. I thought I did. But yeah, we know how that one went. Moicano beat his ass. The second round was a lot more competitive, but just his face was so busted up from the damage. He couldn't see out of his one eye. Doctor called it off. Just goes to show, BSD's grappling is good, but we saw what a high-level grappler can do to him. So there's that potential. But anyway, against Dustin Poirier, we saw a bit of the same. You know, he had a lot of success against the clinch, or in the clinch against the cage. We saw him have a ton of success against Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier jumped like 35 guillotines in this fight, which was like infuriating. And this is the first round here where he's having success in the clinch. Second round comes around. Yeah, he just gets clipped. Poirier starts to beat the shit out of him. However, BSD had some moments. You can see 4 minutes and 7 seconds left in the second round. Tricky spot on the ground. He almost gets Poirier out of there. It's just he starts to go to war against the cage. He wanted to go tit for tat, strike for strike against Dustin Poirier. You can't do it. And he gets put out. Against Matt Frevola, though, this is an interesting one, too. Matt Frevola had a lot of success early on in the grappling. This could be similar to like a Dariush type of situation. Had a lot of success. Matt Frevola, good. Got to top control. I mean, you could see he had moments where he was looking really good in this fight. BSD was struggling. It's just they got to range. All it took was one strike. Matt Frevola out cold. And I kind of feel like that's a similar situation of what can happen here. We could see BSD get dominated for 14 minutes, but then they get to the feet with 1 minute left in this fight, and all it takes is one shot on the chin of Dariush, and he's probably going to go to bed. So that's like, I have this concern in the back of my mind. I'm like, I feel like a Gamrot was the perfect matchup for Dariush because there's not a whole lot of power coming back his way. Pretty predictable in the sense of what Gamrot's going to do, the type of game plan he's going to follow, and as long as you can just neutralize his grappling, you can beat him. BSD is just a bit of a crash out. He'll grapple. He'll go shot for shot. We've seen him go tit for tat against Dustin Poirier. We've seen him grapple against Renato Moicano. He doesn't give a shit. BSD doesn't even know what he's going to do. So the unpredictability, just like the uncertainty, just no one knowing what BSD is going to do, who the hell knows what type of a game plan he's going to follow. I think the craziness in the I don't know, the chaos there's probably going to be one moment. And all he needs is one moment to touch the chin of Dariush. And it's probably going to be it. We saw Moicano. He did the same thing in the first round. He just death-gassed. He had nothing left in the tank, and he threw that fight away. BSD doesn't have that shit of cardio. So I think if BSD does the same thing, maybe he doesn't finish Dariush. I just think if he's able to hurt him, you've won that round for sure. Now you got rounds 2 and 3 where you got to win one of them. I don't think he's going to death-gas. He likely does the same thing in the second or third round. If Dariush had better durability, I would take him, and you could do the MMA math. You could see, well, Dariush beat Moicano. Moicano beat BSD. I just don't think that type of MMA math works in this type of a situation. So I'm going to pick BSD just because I think he's a bit more durable. He has a bit more finishing upside. Would I be completely surprised if Dariush was able to win? No. I think if he is, he's going to have to stick to a perfect grappling game plan where he just gets on top of BSD and just wet blankets his way to a win for 15 minutes, which he definitely could. He definitely could. So, Dariush is not out of this fight. I just think BSD, I think the finishing upside is going to be just a bit too much for Dariush. And I think the safer side would be BSD. Because if you're picking Dariush, you need him to fight a perfect 15 minutes. And at this point in his career, all the damage he's taken, I just don't know if he's going to do that.